I saw a thread in a like women's ADHD themed Facebook group that ironically got me thinking about the concept of how all feelings are valid and how that doesn't just impact our relationship with our own emotions, but how we engage with other people's as well. The poster was saying that they had been on vacation with their husband and that they had like made this whole trip itinerary, and that something they were scheduled to do on the last day of the vacation was one of the things that she was the most excited to do for the whole vacation. And then like the last night that they were staying there, her husband got sick. And so because he was ill, they weren't able to do like the event that she had wanted to do on that last day. And she's posting this as this is actively happening. So she is basically holed up in a hotel with her husband for the day as he's sick. And she posts like, I don't know if I should talk to him about how like I'm sad about this so that he knows, or if I should not say anything, and like if I do say something, like how do I go about saying that without making it seem like I'm upset with him for being sick, because I know he's not happy about being sick either. And what struck me most was how there was a lot of really, really negative comments. People were saying, like, why would you even consider telling him this? Like, you're just trying to make him feel bad. There's no reason to make him feel bad. He didn't do anything. And it's like, she acknowledged that in her post. But also, like, there wasn't a single comment out of like 20 plus responses that said, like, yeah, you could talk about that. And I just thought that was really interesting because, like, of course, every relationship is different and people choose to handle things differently, but I would say something in that situation. And if roles were reversed, I would want my husband to talk to me about it as well. But for me, it comes back to believing that all emotions are valid. But so, like, in this case, I think it's very understandable that she's disappointed that she didn't get to do the thing that she was most excited about doing. And I don't think that means anything about how she feels about her husband getting sick. And I don't think that means she blames him. I think that expecting her to not be at all disappointed about missing out on this thing that she was excited for just because the cause was something that doesn't involve any blame is a weird thing, because that that's just not how my emotions have ever worked. I don't think that's really how anybody's emotions work. So, like, I think if you're really excited about something and then you can't do it for any reason, it's natural to be disappointed. But it seems like some people believe that if the reason that you're not able to do that thing is like a really good or unavoidable reason, then your disappointment is wrong. And I I think that that's not the healthiest perspective, because if you are disappointed and you just can't let yourself accept it because you feel like it's not valid, then you're just going to swallow that feeling rather than really feel it. And of course, like, maybe somebody could choose to really embody their disappointment and let themselves feel their disappointment, but just not share it with their spouse. And like, that's valid too, to me. But I also think that, especially with the people closest to us, I think that a lot of people overestimate our ability to kind of put on a face and to be convincing about how we're actually feeling. And so I feel like in that scenario, if I tried to act like I wasn't disappointed at all, my husband would know that I was at least sad or something. Like, he would pick up on something because we know each other so well that it's just not that convincing to act like everything's fine if you're actually having a negative emotion. And so for me, just outright spelling it out, like, man, I am bummed that we can't do that. And I'm bummed that you have to feel sick. Like, this isn't fun for either of us. And that doesn't involve any blame or any attacking or any guilt if both people can acknowledge that feelings are valid and that having a feeling doesn't mean that that you have to act on that thing. Like, that you're not saying he should go even though he's sick, or that you're upset with him, or that anything in your relationship has changed. We're very much still learning and growing, but My partner and I try to share our emotions with each other really regularly. I think mostly just for the sake of having a lot of like emotional intimacy and a lot of ongoing vulnerability. But I guess that does require being able to not take the other person's feelings too personally, and also to like for each person to, when they're sharing their feelings, to frame them or give context that makes it clear that I'm not saying you did anything wrong just because I'm having this feel. For me, I love when my husband tells me his feelings, even if they're a little uncomfortable and might make me instinctually feel a little bad. So, like, if I was the sick one in this situation, I would feel bad that he's now disappointed. But I would be able to sit with that and like work through that. Like, he's not blaming me and he's just sharing this because he wants me to know how he feels and he doesn't want to hide things from me. And he wants this intimacy with me. He wants to stay open and vulnerable and on the same page with me and to just know where each other is at emotionally very frequently. And so that's what we try to do. And I think for me, when I can share a feeling with him and he accepts it and doesn't take it overly personally, or even if he admits to me, like, I am kind of struggling with, like, feeling like this is too personal, but I know that's my thing and I can work on that, then it still just feels like such a relief to me and it encourages me to continue to trust that my own feelings are valid. Like, if I can share them and I don't have to hide them.